Lynn Donohue taught me that some of the best lessons for reaching the top come from the gutter. Lynn Donohue grew up in a working-class neighborhood in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The daughter of a policeman and librarian, no one would suspect the secret hiding behind closed doors.
My father was an alcoholic, abusive. I just wanted to get away. I didn't care what it was. I wanted to get out of the situation I was at home, and then I started, abusing alcohol and substances, and so it all kind of was spiraling out of control.
Her home life took a toll on Lynn, and her world began to unravel.
By the time I was 14, I was full-blown hitchhiking down to Florida, unable to keep going in school. I was put away for about a month, and they told my mother if I didn't drop out of school at 15, I would become a ward of the state. I kind of wandered around from job to job, always minimum wage jobs. And, I was just wanting to be numb and really saying I almost had given up.
And then something happened that would turn her life around.
Someone had left the paper and moved on, and I'm sitting there, there's no one else there, and I'm reading an article, and it's talking about women in the construction trades.
Lynn was accepted into a program that was aimed at getting more women into the construction industry, something she had never even imagined.
I had never pictured myself there. I wasn't a tomboy or a gardener or anything that would kind of draw me to that. I became a bricklayer, and that's what started everything changing, and really it wasn't as simple as that.
Being the only female bricklayer in the entire region, she struggled under the constant scrutiny of her male co-workers.
When I started bricklaying, that was the first time in my life that I ever felt that I had something that no one could take away from me. All they wanted me to do was quit, and once I started to get those huge paychecks, I wasn't going to quit. They would have to kill me to get me out of there. I wasn't going to quit.
Lynn channeled that anger into pure determination. At a recent business event, she recounts the day she was pushed too far.
I'm nervous. Every new job I went on to, I was nervous, of course. And about 6'4" of Whitey, he turns to kind of block my path as I'm going to my workstation. He looked down and he said, "Next thing you know, they'll have monkeys doing this." Yeah, you know what I said to him? Nothing. But what I said to myself was, "You're going to work for me someday." And that was the lightning bolt that struck, and the seed that was planted right at that moment that I was going to start my own business.
With that, Lynn began to bid for projects herself, and then the first big job came through, the construction of a new drugstore. She took out a loan and assembled a crew from the same men she once struggled to get respect from.
It was a whole different dynamics. I paid them very well. They had no problem with me signing their paycheck. I was actually the same person, but to them I became a different person, and not someone that they felt was stealing their job, which was so funny because I'm still the only woman after 25 years in Local 39. No other woman has come after me. So I really wasn't out there to take away all the jobs of men.
Lynn built her small company into a multi-million-dollar construction operation. Now she devotes much of her time to giving back to the community she grew up in.
Sometimes the struggles that we have build the character we need to go forward, because if you quit, then it's done. And I just could not quit. And so many people quit. They stop before they reach any possible potential that they could have gotten themselves to.